One of the most difficult things about learning a different language is finding a native speaker to practice with. In this video, I'm going to talk about two different methods that you can use. One is free, one is paid, in order to find someone to practice with in your target language. My name is James, I'm native in English, puedo hablar español y anche posso parlare italiano. I help people reach a conversational level in a different language. So let's get to it. Let's start with the free way that you can find a native speaker. Now there's two different options for this. One is online and one is in person. So let's dig into the online side of things. How can you find a native speaker to practice with online? Well, there's a lot of different apps you can use. One is Tandem and one is HelloTalk. Those are two that I would recommend because I've used them personally. So what happens then? Well, essentially you download the app and then you can find you're connected with a load of native speakers who you've selected. Say I'm English and I've selected I can speak English as my native language. I then want to learn or practice Spanish. Cool, I select that. I can see a list of different people online with their own profiles and ratings and reviews, and they are native speakers. They're not teachers, they're just people wanting to also practice. They want to learn your language, and that's how it works. So it's called a language exchange, and it's the same principle whether it's online or in person, and you're exchanging your time for theirs. So if, for example, you got an hour, you can spend half an hour talking in English, half an hour in the target language, so say Spanish if you're practicing that. That's how it works. And that's how it's free, because you're not paying them for their time. You're saying, right, I'll help you if you help me. The downside of it being free like this is that instead of having to commit half an hour of your weekly schedule to language learning, you'll have to commit double that time because you'll have to give back some in your native language. So once you've found a native speaker to practice with, all you do is message them, start a conversation going, get to know a bit about them, because you have to build a bit of trust first before you can start a video or voice call. So that's the goal that you should aim for. If you want to be good at conversations in your target language, then go from text typing, so typing how are you, etc., like texting, to actually doing either a voice call or video call. A downside of this can be that it's hard to find a mutual time that you can both do. So you have to find a time and a day and make it regular if you can. Once you've both agreed to have a video or voice call on that time, if it's say an hour call in total, start by doing the first half an hour maybe in English and the second half an hour in your target language, so it might be Spanish or whatever language you're learning. If you live in a city or a built-up area where there's lots of people around, then there's a group called meetup.com, and there's often quite a lot of language exchanges on that. There's a lot of Facebook groups as well. So an in-person language exchange works similarly. However, it tends to be in a group. So you're in a group setting and you're normally around a table. It's in a pub or in a venue like that, where you go in and you sit down and you talk to people. You talk to people. You have a name badge when you walk in, and it says, my native language is English, the language I'm practicing is Spanish or whatever, and then you can match with other people who are native in the language you're trying to learn. And that works in a similar way. Half the time you're talking your native language, and half the time you switch to the target language. And it doesn't matter what your level is, because if it's in a group, you can stay quiet and just passively listen to what people are saying around you. And that still helps you with your language learning, because it still trains your ears to understand things. And if you can understand the context of what people are talking about, that helps massively as well. Next option, the paid option. Now this is where you can pay to have a lesson or conversation with a native speaker, and it's done on an online platform. There's a lot of online platforms available. The one I use is Preply, and this platform connects you on a one-to-one basis on a video call. So you can see and hear them and they can see and hear you. And that's how it works. You can choose between half an hour, 1 hour, or even more if you want to. I tend to have half an hour sessions because any more than that and my concentration starts going. So how does it work on Preply, for example? Well, there's filters on the top of the home page where you can set what kind of teacher you want based on their price, based on their location, and what their specialities could be. I normally go for the lowest price ones, which tends to be new people. So anyone who's new to the platform, it can cost as little as say $5 or $6 per hour, and it's more affordable for people that way. Then you can see their profile and a video, a little bit about them as well. Then you decide if you'd like to go ahead with that teacher. You can see their availability, any reviews they have as well. So it's completely safe. And then the good thing here is that that links in with your calendar. So if you use Apple or Google Calendar, I use Google Calendar myself, and I can see when I have a next Preply lesson coming up, so don't miss it. So any other commitments that come up, I can say, nope, sorry, I've got a Preply lesson then, I can't do it. I can also change it afterwards or cancel it with the teacher, but I have to speak with the teacher for that anyway. So there is some level of flexibility, but it's handy just to see it in your calendar. Then, if you want to try before you commit, you can book yourself a 25-minute trial lesson with that teacher. It will cost 25 minutes, well, half the time of their hourly rate, basically. So you book it according to when you can do and when you're free. That's it. You just have the half an hour video call with the teacher. If you like it, then you can continue and buy maybe a pack of 6 or 12 lessons. You can buy a pack of lessons after that, basically. It can be quite intense learning a different language on a one-to-one basis because your focus has to be there constant. It's more difficult to zone out like you could do in a group setting if someone else is talking. So I'd recommend not booking an hour, but booking half an hour slots. That's what I do because my attention isn't that strong after half an hour passes, and half an hour is more than enough if you do a couple of them per week. I'd recommend a minimum of two half-an-hour sessions per week. If you're curious about Preply and you want to learn more, there is a link below. You can get 70% discount off your first trial lesson. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and write a comment as to what platform you use or what you find to be the most useful method to chat with native speakers as well. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe and I'll see you later.